I need to make a correction. In my previous video, I stated that Francis Ngannou was stripped of his belt and cut from the UFC. That's not true. Francis's last fight on his contract was January 22nd, 2022 against Ciryl Gane. He won. He was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And the reason why he's no longer in the UFC is because they couldn't come to an agreement regarding his new contract, so he walked away. Francis wanted to try having a boxing match. He wanted medical insurance. He wanted the freedom to have his own sponsors. All these fighters should have the freedoms to have sponsors. The UFC is literally taking money out of their pocket because they've signed a contract with Venom. Previously, they had a contract with Reebok. Now they have a contract with Venom. And none of these fighters are allowed to have their own sponsorships. Francis fought for his freedom, and the UFC wasn't willing to give that to him, so he walked away. Simple as that. After Francis walked away, Dana White held a press conference in which he said Francis Ngannou was afraid to fight Jon Jones, which could not be further from the truth. Francis has been calling to fight Jon Jones for years, and Dana White is trying to slander Francis's name on the way out. That's not uncommon. That's what Dana White does. When Nate Diaz wanted to fight out his contract and explore things outside of the UFC, what did they do? They booked him against Khamzat Chimaev so that he would get destroyed in his final fight, making him look bad. It's what they do. Dana White is spiteful and he's petty. And if any of these fighters want to explore anything outside of the UFC, he tries to disparage their name, slander them, and make them look bad on the way out. Which honestly, in my opinion, is bad business. Who knows, maybe Francis will end up fighting in the UFC again in the future. But Dana White is burning bridges. I'm very excited for the upcoming Ciryl Gane versus Jon Jones fight for the UFC heavyweight title. It's a really interesting fight. If I had to pick, Jon Jones is going to beat Ciryl Gane and become the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Ciryl Gane got out-wrestled by Francis Ngannou, and we all know Jon Jones has pretty high wrestling acumen. He was a junior college champion and is a problem on the ground. So if I had to estimate how the fight's gonna go, Jon Jones is gonna take Ciryl Gane to the ground and beat him up. Ciryl Gane is huge, strong, calm, calculated, smooth. He's a great fighter, but Jon Jones is the GOAT, man. Today we have a UFC event in Brazil, UFC 283, Glover Texiera versus Jamahal Hill for the 205-pound light heavyweight strap. You have Jamahal Hill coming in as the young, hungry lion against Glover Texiera, the old, grizzled veteran. Glover Texiera is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, amazing grappler, super durable, very hard to knock out. He's been training with Alex Pereira. So you have a master grappler and a master striker sharpening up each other's skills in the training room. So Glover Texiera might be better than he's ever been right now. He's in his 40s, but he's still a beast. If I had to choose, I think Jamahal Hill is going to win tonight and become the UFC light heavyweight champion. Let's wait and see.